we'll start with some injury updates. Kevin Hogan came out of the game really well. Should go with the same program we had last week. Swelling has gone down, feels pretty good, but we'll still limit his practice time until late in the week. He should be ready to go. We will hold Kevin Anderson out again this week. Give him another week, actually 2 weeks, to get ready, and should be ready to go after the bye. Very fortunate with Aziz Shatu and Brennan Scarlett. X-rays showed no broken bones or torn ligaments. Both guys are sore, and we'll get some treatment this week, but hopefully anticipating both those guys will play this weekend. That's it.
Kyle Murphy.
Oh, Kyle's great. Kyle will play.
Did Scarlett just play like a series and a half or something like that? It must have gone really early, right?
It was relatively early, and I can't remember how early because they say he was down, but he was trying to go and was running around back there. So for a while, I figured he was still probably going to play, and then they finally came back and said, no, he can't go. Feared the worst and didn't want to take any chances. Thankfully, though, the worst didn't happen. So, but we were, as we usually are, overly cautious there when it comes to our guys' health.
Speaking of injuries, Scooby Wright is out, got hurt again. Poor kid. I'm just wondering how does that change things as far as your offensive preparation?
Nothing. That doesn't change our preparation at all. Preparing for these guys, they have good players, and it's a funky scheme. It's a different scheme. We haven't seen it in a couple of years. So running and pass protection, it's about make sure guys have good rules, make sure guys know what they're supposed to do. I think it's unfortunate also, and you always want to play against the best, compete against the best, and he's been the best defense player in our conference for over a year now, and feel bad for him. Thankfully, it's not the season because he's an outstanding football player.
And the same goes for Anu Solomon. He's day to day with a concussion. What would change if you had faced Randall or Dawkins?
Once again, you're talking about a very versatile offense that whether he plays or not, whoever plays quarterback is going to be an athletic quarterback that you have to account for, which puts you in so many run-pass conflicts, whether he hands the ball, whether he runs the ball, whether he starts to run the ball and throws the ball. Whoever that is, you have to account for what they do on offense. And I'm sure they'll, if Anu doesn't play, I'm sure they'll cater the offense to whomever does start at quarterback. But for us, it's really getting ready for the scheme and making sure our rules are sound. And then the last part of the puzzle is, which we faced last week, it's one thing to have your rules right. It's another thing to get the guy on the ground. We got to tackle the quarterback better than we did a week ago, no matter who it is.
You had a lot of guys kind of moving in on the defensive line that, are not used to playing that much. Can you just talk about the contributions they made and how guys stepped up?
Well, it's what you hope for. You hope your third and fourth and fifth guys are ready if needed, if called upon. And give Nate Lone a lot of credit for coming back off injury and preparing and coming in and giving us a lot of good plays. And Jordan Watkins coming in and taking a lot of reps off of the guys that played also. We had to go in and play a lot. We had some long drives, and guys were getting a little tired, so we had to go out there and play, and they did an admirable job. With Aziz and Brennan coming back, who knows how many plays those guys will play. But at least as a coach, okay, it's good. Those guys, they're taking their job seriously. They're preparing to play, and when called upon, they'll go play.
Will Joey Alfieri start then in place of Kevin?
Yes.
And how did he do in this
He
game?
played extremely well. And, you forget sometimes that this is his first year playing because he's made contributions in every game. He's very athletic. He's been physical. And you always worry about guys first time playing, especially first time starting, first time extended period of time playing, being a little hesitant. Joey hasn't been hesitant. He's been decisive. He's been physical. He's been athletics. He's hit the quarterback. He's made some tackles for loss. He's done a good job in coverage. So, been really, really excited about where he is right now.
He came to the same high school as Owen Marset, and he had 5 300-yard games rushing before he got hurt his senior year. You put him on the offensive side of the ball a little bit?
It's come up. And actually, last time it came up was last time I was in the airport in Oregon. This guy passing by me and, kind of gave a little parting shot about, I got the kid playing out of position. Because, what he did up there as a running back was outstanding. We think he's got a very, very bright future as an outside linebacker. If the worst came to worst, and we had injuries and issues, and we could put him back there, he's got the ability to do that. I think his natural skill set is on the defensive side.
I have a couple of questions about McCaffrey in this game. Do you have a policy about your running backs or receivers vaulting defenders?
I'm not for it. He's done it 3 times in a year and a half and has jumped over everybody. He hasn't gotten hit yet while he's been doing it. Did in the bowl game. Did it another time last year. He's done it, actually, I guess it's 4 times, done it twice this year already. Not a big fan of it. But at the same time, it's hard to train instincts, and so far his instincts have been very good to him and to us.
On the on McCaffrey, the first punt that he received, he pretty much induced an interference call, it seemed to me. Was that just a clever play on his part, or how? Is that something he's taught?
We don't work on things like that. There was contact between he and the guy covering him, and I am glad they got rid of the halo rule, that old rule that didn't make any sense to anybody. But at the same time, you have to give the guy fair opportunity to catch the football, and the defender was too close and got flagged for it.
And lastly, the Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatten said if he keeps going like this, something like that, he backtracked on it a little bit later on, that McCaffrey should be in the Heisman conversation. Do you agree?
It's barely October. I don't even go down that road for a while. He's in a good place. We're all still kind of gelling as an offense. He is extremely versatile and can do a lot of different things. But you guys know my history with that thing, and I'm taking a wide berth.
You must be pretty pleased with your 3 running back things going real well last year.
It really has, and it of course starts up front. It starts with the offensive line. It starts with our tight ends. Both guys, Dalton Schultz and Austin Hooper, doing a great job blocking, both at the point of attack and backside. The guy that nobody talks about, Daniel Marks, the first time started, having an outstanding year. He's an NFL prototypical fullback. He's doing extremely well, and he's only going to get better. So starts there, and now what McCaffrey's been able to do really the last couple of weeks, breaking so many tackles, making so many guys miss, getting so many yards after contact. Ramon Wright has had some outstanding runs. His last 2 touchdown runs were incredible. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, spun out of tackles, gets in the end zone. And Barry continues to find his way. I challenged Barry, and at the same time made him a promise. I said, you show us special stuff, and you'll continue to get increased carries. And he's shown us his special ability, and he's going to continue to get increased carries.
Was Wright about to vault like he did the previous week in this game in those 2 plays? It looked like he just thought quickly and bounced outside, but I couldn't tell what he was intending to do originally.
Similar to talking about Christian, Ramon's got outstanding instincts for finding creases. And if you watch all of our short yardage goal line plays over the last 2 years with Ramon, he has a feel for when there's a crease. Has nothing to do with his height. He can get this low and get underneath people and find the first down. when he feels that there's guys in the ground and there's an opportunity for him to jump, he'll jump. When he feels like there's guys in the ground and there's a guy in front of him but nobody over there, he'll slide back this way and jump. He's just got a great feel. He's a great decision maker. He's got strong, powerful legs. He can push the pocket. So it's one of those deals to where you have the guys up front block as best they can and hand it to Ramon and trust his instincts.
Did you consider taking Hogan out? There was 7.5 minutes to go in the game and you got the ball back and you're basically gonna try to run out the clock. Why keep Hogan in that situation?
If we got another series, it was Kevin's playing probably the best he's played in his career. The look in his eye, which, on game day has been phenomenal. And it was hard to get him out of the game. Now, at the same time, there's also a lot of stuff those guys were doing on defense. We don't have names for some of those fronts that they were playing. And to put a young quarterback in, have him diagnose what the front is and get us to the right running game, the right run play, because we're going to run the ball in the fourth quarter. That's a bit much for those guys because those are fronts that we've never seen before. Some of them we turned them as goal line block. Field goal block defenses. 7 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 1 DB, and then they're different. They're stemming the front. They're changing stuff. So trusting Kevin to make sure we got to the right run play was a good call. We could have put one of the guys in and said, hey, no, just hand the ball off. But Kevin was into the game, and he did a good job of seeing the different looks and getting us to the right plays, really the last quarter of the game.
Are you having any internal battle? Because I know you wanted to get your backups, at least one of them, some experience for next year. And so far, 4 games down, there has not been much.
I wouldn't say an internal battle. So I want to do it smartly. I want to do it wisely. We had the opportunity to really get the game well in hand at one point late in the game, and it would have been nice, but we got a late turnover. They went down and scored, so that opportunity went away. And then we came back and scored again, and then the variety of looks we were getting. I want to put a young quarterback in there, still with 2-score game, and kind of the game on the line. We still got to be wise. Now we've got programs for both those guys, but those programs are not going to supersede the situation. The situation in each game is still more important, and the situation needs to present itself before we put one of those programs in place.
Did you have in mind a number of snaps you were hoping to get at least one of them this season?
By the end of the year, I just, I have the same thing for myself that I say to you guys, which is significant. I would love a significant number of snaps. I don't know if that's 20, I don't know if that's 40, I don't know if that's 15. But as long as there's something on film to evaluate, something on film that makes them feel like, gosh, I got in the game and I got dirty and I got into it. So at some point by the end of the year, we want to make sure that happens. But I'm not going to sacrifice any game to do it.
What about Martinez? He was in the game right to the bitter end. Considering he means so much to your defense, why keep him in all the way?
Same thing. They've got a dynamic quarterback out there that's hard to tackle, and they weren't backing off. And it wasn't a 28-point, with 4 minutes to go or 3 minutes to go deal. These guys were charging down the field, and they got a chance to score and kick an onside kick and get it back and take a shot at the end zone. Those are coaching decisions that, depending on how the game's going, and if we had done a better job, I think just stopping them during the course of the game, maybe we make that change. But it seemed prudent to leave him out there at the time.
How did Brandon Tanaka do? He got a lot of plays, right?
He did. He did very well. With Kyle Murphy going out, and then David Bright going into play left tackle, all of those ogre responsibilities fell on Brendan Fanica, and he did great. He did great, and without a lot of reps, but he'd been studying it because he is the backup for David Bright in those positions, and he came in and did really well. I mean, he's physical. I mean, at some point, he's going to be a starter here at guard. We think he's got an outstanding upside, and he's working towards that.
What does he have to do to get his name on his jersey?
His name is on a jersey. It's not on the one that he wears, though.
Well, how does that work? He's a 94, does he have another number or what?
So, without boring everybody else in the room, in order for us to do what we do with those guys and not have to report every single play, they need to be listed in the number that they're playing in. So he has a jersey number 71, which has his name on it, but we put him in an eligible jersey because he's playing tight end or fullback or H-back. So when he does have to go, if he has to switch, he switches and puts on his other jersey, and then he has to report. So that eligible number will list it, and it might not be the same all year, and it might be the same all year. But that's just what we've done just to try to, because you never know, just like with Bright, we did the same thing with Bright. And Bright now, last couple weeks, has to be ready to be a backup. So Bright goes in his ineligible number with his name on the back. So those other numbers, 96, 98, 97, those 94, we've always used those as just kind of rotating jerseys on there, our offensive linemen playing those positions.
When you were watching on tape the play, the long pass that Rector scored on, what did you see? Was it just a lucky play? Rector obviously had great concentration to catch the ball, and that was a big part of it. But I'm just wondering how you got away with one.
What you say is there's a reason why you work on distraction drills for receivers. Coach DeVita Pritchard does it. I mean, every week. At one point during the week, where guys have to run, and we have hands flashing across them as they focus on the catch. High balls, low balls, over the shoulder balls with guys waving their hands in front of them. There's a reason why you work on those. During the course of the game, to say it nicely, there was a lot of physical play between the corners and the receivers during the course of the game. And we knew at some point we were going to have to do a double move. And that's what that was. That was a double move. Mike got beyond the corner. Safety was running full speed to get there and couldn't quite get there. Kevin took a little air out of the ball and got it out there, and it was a great throw. Defensive backs were close. They waved their hands in front of the ball, and Michael had great concentration not only to catch the ball, but then to stay on his feet and finish in the end zone. So there's a reason why you work on things that you work on.
You mentioned after the game and then again today about Barry Sanders' his special attributes. What are those?
They're the things that you can't coach and teach. We can hand the ball to anybody and just run to the line of scrimmage and get tackled. The guys that have the special ability have to show the special ability. He's got to break tackles. He's got to run through contact like he did that last play, which was phenomenal. I think Barry's still growing, and he's a fourth-year guy, but I think he's still growing as a football player. Everybody develops at different times, and he's got a lot of confidence right now. The guys have a lot of confidence in him, and now he's been able to get on the field, not just for a play or two, but get out there for a series, get out there for a drive, being on a pass play, good pass protection. Those are the things that we challenged Barry with, and he's responded, and I'm proud of him, and I'm excited for him.
You may have set a record for only 3 turnovers in the first 4 games, so I don't want to jinx it, but you got to be pretty happy about that.
I'm still pissed about all 3. Just the things we never want to turn the ball over, and we still need to get more turnovers. It's been a focus of ours because we haven't had enough short fields. Haven't had enough pick sixes or scoop and score touchdowns on fumbles. Offensively, and we've had just too many times we've got something good going and we turn the ball over. Even if it's been few, we don't want any. And it's been a focus of ours for the season.
So 4 games in, are you set on who's playing this year and who's going to not play?
Freshman-wise, yes. Yes, unless something catastrophic happens, but yes.
And how about Luke?
Luke's in that special category where, we honestly could redshirt him. He's got a year to redshirt. And that's been a lot of internal conversations, and thankfully, it looks like we don't have to even have the conversation with our two guys being back healthy again, and the fact that Nate Lone's back healthy and Jordan Watkins can come in and play. So, it may end up being a good thing for us if Luke doesn't play this year, knowing that we are losing Brendan Scarlett and Aziz Chatou and Torsten Rado this year. To have a veteran guy come back for another year, well, once again, it's going to be week to week based on the health of our football team, just like the young quarterbacks. And it sounds great to redshirt Luke, but hey, if we need him to win a football game, we're going to throw him in there to win a football game.
Which the home field hasn't been much of an advantage so far in Pac-12 play. I think it's 0-6 or something like that, after the first bowl game. Any explanation for that?
A lot of good football teams. I'll say this, with schemes that travel, right? I mean, the crowd noise doesn't bother a spread team that goes on a silent snap count. That gets all their signals from the sidelines. So a lot of teams have offenses that travel, and we've had opportunistic defenses in our conference as well. We've got talented teams in USC and UCLA that can go on the road and play anywhere and play well. So I think the main people that are not surprised are the guys in our conference, just because we've been watching each other now, and it's the Wild West right now.
What position are you gearing towards next year? Is that linebacker or DN?
Once again, we'll see. And next year, it's forever away right now, because like I said, if we get into a situation, and if both guys were down for a while after this past week, we probably would have had to play them just to be able to finish football games. But we'll see. We'll deal with all that stuff, in the off season, depending on what happens.
Since you guys played Arizona last, I think you played Notre Dame 3 times and Army twice. Do you like the way the league schedule rotation works?
I do.
You do?
I do. I think it's good. I think it's healthy, because the alternatives, I don't believe, are good. The alternatives are not playing USC and UCLA every year, and that's something that just hasn't been acceptable to any of the 4 schools: Stanford, Cal, USC, and UCLA, and it's not acceptable to our administration. It's not acceptable to our alumni, and so given that, I think this is the best of both worlds. So you don't go 4 and 5 years without playing somebody in your conference like happens other places. You have a rotation where you're going to play 2 years on, 2 years off, and in the course of 4 years, everybody that plays on your team will play every team in the conference. So I think it's a good rule.
You surprised like Utah's family of Oregon?
I'm the wrong guy to ask.
Oh.
I'm not surprised by anything Utah does. Those guys are big, they're long, they're physical, they're mature across the board. Veteran players. You've got a big physical offensive line, a big physical defensive line, a veteran quarterback, skill receivers, and then one of the best backs in the conference, if not in the country. So, never surprised by what that team can accomplish. And I thought over the last couple of years, the coaching job, I think that's been one of the most underrated in the nation, has been what's going on out there in Utah. I think it's been outstanding, and it's nice to see them getting recognized for it, and I'm glad they're not on our schedule.
You said this morning that it took 5 minutes watching Blake at your camp to know he was the guy. What did you see in those 5 minutes?
It was hard to see on film. Some guys are hard to really see on film, whether it's NFL film, college film, or high school film. Some guys you need to see live, and with Blake, it was the combination of quickness, size, speed, and his physical nature, right? The first time I saw him in a drill, plant and drive and initiate contact with another human being, I said, this is a middle linebacker. This is the guy. And to be honest, once I saw that, I started walking around the rest of the camp because the decision was made. I didn't really see much he did the rest of camp. My dad used to say, when you're looking for great defensive players, you look at guys that hit with their eyes open. right? Because they like it. Blake Martinez likes physical contact, and I'm glad he's on our team.
Did you offer him on the spot?
I don't like to do that. I like to let them finish camp first, you know, so it creates a little bit of doubt in their mind.
Well,
So
I
they,
don't mean on the field, I mean, at the end of the camp, I meant.
yes, there was no question about it. And for guys like him, a lot of people will pass him up because we didn't offer him off of his high school film, just for whatever reason. It's hard to see. Certain guys are like that. We have a bunch of guys. You know, I think Ty Montgomery's initial film was okay until we saw him live and said, "Oh my gosh, this is the guy." I think that happens quite a bit.
Is Scove or Martinez and Scove similar in their approach to contact?
Yeah. They like being the aggressor, and it's what you want at middle linebacker. It's what we saw from Owen Marisic first time you're on the field. Owen Marisic, those guys, you know, to a football coach, your eyes naturally snap to them, because even out of the corner of your eye, you see that quickness, speed, and explosion, and you have to point and say, okay, that's it. That's what we're looking for. We'll teach them the scheme, you know, but they come in with that natural ability and instinct and physical desire to inflict contact on somebody else. That's what you're looking for.
You said on the Pac-12 call that, so you did see Ty Montgomery's Lambeau leap. What did you think?
I was just excited, so excited. You know, we are, as football coaches, college football coaches, de facto parents, right? We get to be quasi-parents for 4 to 5 years, and when the guys go on, and we had a bunch of guys go on to medical school, which has been so, you know, you act like a proud parent because, you know, writing recommendations, and guys go on to work on startups and start their own companies like Derek Belch, and you're just so proud and excited. And then you watch, you know, Doug and Richard win a Super Bowl a few years ago, and, you know, you have tears in my eyes, and then you flip on the TV last night and you watch the replay because we're meeting and on the practice field, and you watch one of your prized pupils do his Lambeau leap, and there's just such a sense of pride and excitement for him and his family that he's getting to live a dream, and couldn't be prouder of him. Thanks, guys.